that was a different encounter. I guess I was just thinking that this is how, um, when we are chanting, all these different desires, they just pop in like an intrusion, and they just create such a disturbance in our head.
Such a cacophony, right?
Yeah.
It's just, throws you off.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. That it's just like when we start chanting, then there are all these other forces that are continuously like saying, okay, look at me.
Yeah, we are trying to zoom into Krishna, but these desires, they come and say, okay, pay me attention, and just this loud music in our head.
Nice. So let's get into our Bhagavatam. Tomorrow we'll start on time so that we will be able to complete the full round.
Yeah. So is this ID also?
No, it's okay. As long as we have a waiting room, we'll be okay. Chapter 3. All right, so we are on chapter 3 of the Srimad Bhagvatam, and we are going to just continue. The last time we actually talked about all the different forms of Krishna, and we talked about how there are innumerable forms of Krishna, just like there are countless waves in the ocean. So in the same way, there are all these different forms who appear in this world periodically, sometimes as in his direct form, and sometimes in an empowered way, which means that some living entity, like, you see Muhammad and Jesus and even Lord Buddha and in this Prithu Maharaj and the four Kumaras and Vyasadeva, all of these great personalities, they're called empowered incarnations, and so they come because there's a certain purpose to fulfill.
Yeah, and then we talked about this. This is called the Paribhasha Sutra, or the king verse of Bhagavatam, because all the great teachers, they explain that all these incarnations are there to attract us in different ways, but the one who is able to attract us the most, that is the Bhagavan. Because with the Bhagavan, it says, Ate Chamsa Kala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Medianti Yuge Yuge. So all these incarnations, they are plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions, but Sri Krishna is the original personality of God. So why is this relevant to me? The reason it's relevant to us, when I was reading the purport, is that with Krishna, you can have the most intimate relationship. The most intimate experience of our heart can be achieved through Krishna. You cannot have that experience with any of the other incarnations, neither with the Vishnu, neither with the Narayan form, because there is a lot of distance there. There is still awe and reverence, and the heart is looking for that comfort, just like the child feels the most intimacy and comfort in the lap of the mother, right? Nobody can come more closer.
But even in Krishna, there's a very specific form of Krishna even. I mean, we are getting like really, really specific here, because Krishna is there in Vrindavan, and Krishna is also there in Dwarka. And so this is just to show that how the gopis, they are, they are actually attracted to this cowherd boy who's just frolicking. Even when Krishna himself becomes a king, they're not as attracted to him.
Yeah, but even there, Krishna has a lot of intimacy.
Right.
Yeah, but the bottom line is that Krishna is the most intimate form of all the incarnations.
Right. So so this desire for Vinny, you can let Vinny in, Ritvani. Yeah. So this desire for intimacy is what makes Krishna, the original form, and all these other forms, they're all emanating from him, and they're all parts of him, and he appears. Why does he appear? So that he can actually protect those that are trying to who are trying to actually improve their consciousness.
Yeah, it is the Lord incarnates to protect the thieves. I guess to establish that protection here means that to establish that deep relationship. Krishna wants to exchange that loving relationship. And there are four qualities that are very special about Krishna. One is extreme beauty. Krishna's beauty is so powerful that even the other incarnations, they are also attracted to Krishna's beauty. They want to experience Krishna's beauty. And the second quality that Krishna has that is very endearing to the heart is his flute playing. And that's why you always see Krishna with a flute. There was this German philosopher who once visited India. He wanted to see how is God worshipped? What is the ultimate form of God? And he went to all the temples and different places, and then he finally wrote that.
So what happened was that when he visited all these different temples, some place he saw Kali with a trident trying to kill some demon. Another place he saw some other form engaged in some kind of a killing activity. When he finally went to a temple of Krishna, he saw Krishna just standing there, just playing a flute. And so he thought, this must be God, someone who has nothing to do, who's just engaged in just fun. And so all of these different forms are there so that they can engage with this material energy. They can do all the activities. But Krishna, on the other hand, his only purpose is really just to have loving pastimes. And so that's what he does.
And
that's,
I guess in those pastimes, one of the primary characteristics that Krishna himself forgets that he is God, and then we also, the devotees, they also don't treat him as God, because that's when the intimacy can happen, right? There is no sense of godhood. Krishna kind of removes all that.
So we can see here, let's read a little bit. And the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Shri Krishna was his internal, Sarita. Extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Shri Krishna was his internal energetic manifestation of his pastimes with the cowherd girls. His pastimes with the gopis are all displays of transcendental existence, bliss, and knowledge, although these are manifested apparently as sex love. The specific attraction of his pastimes with the gopis should never be misunderstood. The Bhagavatam relates to these transcendental pastimes in the 10th canto, and in order to reach the position to understand the transcendental nature of Lord Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, the Bhagavatam promotes the students gradually in 9 other cantos. So this is a very important point, because by the time we get to 10th canto, we're going to see Krishna engaging in activities that might seem very human-like. And so,
like he's a baby, he's baby crawling on the ground.
He's stealing butter, he's playing with the gopis, he's teasing the gopis, he's stealing their clothes, he's dancing with them in the middle of the night. And unless and until we understand that the same Krishna, he is the same, half man, half lion incarnation who can kill a great demon just by his nails, right? When you juxtapose the two together, that's when we'll actually understand and appreciate those pastimes. As how is it possible that someone with that kind of power is allowing his devotees to overrule him?
And that is, I guess, Krishna himself, he derives more pleasure in those personal, intimate pastimes. He's the pleasure he derives in creating the universe and maintaining the universe is far less compared to the pleasure he derives in being controlled by his devotees who are playing with him and who tell him that you are a thief, you are a liar. We defeated you. Krishna gets more pleasure out of that than all the worship that he gets in the Vedas.
And actually, here is the thing, that it's not that the other forms we cannot worship. That freedom is completely there. Just because this verse is saying that Krishna is the original form, it doesn't mean that if someone has an attraction to worship Narasingha or Ramachandra or any other form, right? They're welcome to. But as far as our deepest desire, our deepest need to connect at the most intimate level is concerned, we also in our own life, we experience happiness when we can experience intimacy, when our hearts are connected, when we feel that we can really, love freely without any fear. That's when we experience the greatest amount of happiness. So in all other forms, there is a distance, like even with Narasinghadev, Lakshmi herself becomes afraid. She's not able to approach, even though he's her husband. So, but with Krishna, there is no question of fear. It's all based around, God just forgetting his godhood and devotees not even caring about his godhood, but rather engaging because he's just so beautiful. He's so charming. He's so attractive. That is the only motivation to love him. Not because he has all these opulences, not because he's so powerful. That becomes a moot point. Just like I often think, sometimes we look up to some celebrities, right? And, you think, oh my God, he's so big and he's so powerful and he's so amazing. But at home, I'm sure his grandchild or his daughter or son don't really care that he has this outside persona.
They actually want to create that family time with their most intimate one, where they forget that they throw parties or they go out somewhere hiking or wherever.
Or they even make fun of him, right? They make fun of him. They don't, they tease him. And they don't see him as, in such a, that as if he's like this great person. So, so I guess we could maybe skip all of this.
Yeah, we don't have to.
We already talked about how all of us can possess these attributes. The living entities can possess these attributes.
Maybe we can.
Radhika Naam is entered.
Maybe we can read from here.
I already read this last time.
You already read this.
Yeah, so let's continue.
Okay. Janma guiham bhagavato ya etat prayato naraha sayam pratar ginan bhaktya dukkha grama vimuchyate.
Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life. I like this word mysterious a lot. That even though, we are reading about this and it may seem like, what's the mystery? But there is a lot of mystery around it. And the mystery is that it's, for one thing, it's inconceivable. So Jiva Goswami actually makes this point that, in order to understand God, one has to understand the inconceivable nature of God.
Yeah, because we have so much limitation in conceiving anything. We can't even conceive what's going on in our body, right? It's so hard to conceive. If we have a disease or something, we are not able to conceive what is the cause of the disease, although it's our own body. So what is our power to conceive? So I guess what I take from this is that there are possibilities. Even if I may not be able to see everything, I may not be able to even like conceptualize, oh, how can this is possible? That is all right. But just leaving that possibility that, yeah, maybe this is possible.
Yeah, maybe there is a possibility. Why not?
Why not?
There's so much that we don't know.
Yeah.
And there's so much that we cannot even see. Like this whole corona thing. We keep talking about how it's a virus. Of course, the scientists are able to see, but we can't see, but it's created a havoc.
And that's why we feel like, okay, I can just go out without a mask because I don't see the virus.
Because I don't see the virus, yeah. So in the same way, there are things which are beyond our conception, beyond our experience. And that's really why, it's mysterious. Why is it mysterious? Because we don't see this. When was the last time you saw Nrsimhadev emerge out of a pillar? Or we saw Lord Ramachandra creating a bridge on the ocean just by dropping stones in it. And the stones became weightless. When was the last time we saw that? So this is all in the realm of the inconceivable. And so as long as we stay stuck, or we say this is possible, this is not possible, then we don't get to enter into this other dimension, which is the dimension of unlimited possibility.
And the other way I perceive this is mysterious is that even though people have been talking about these pastimes for so many thousands of years, but still, even in our own life, when we talk about these pastimes many, many times, we don't get bored by these pastimes. Every time you talk about them, they feel fresh.
Yeah, keep talking.
How many things are there in this world about which we can feel fresh? I mean, you talk about them 2 or 3 times. Do a stop share.
No, it's okay.
And they still appear fresh to us. So that's another way these pastimes are mysterious, because they are new. Every time you read about them, you hear about them, deeper and deeper meanings can come out of them. And the third way they are mysterious is because you don't know how it's going to turn out, how they are going to turn out. Every time these pastimes happen, there is a new twist to them, and Krishna has inconceivable ways of connecting with his devotees. So it's all mystery, but it's a mystery that is it's not beyond our reach. That's the other part of these pastimes, is that otherwise the Vedas would not describe it. They were so mysterious, out of our reach, and the Vedas would not describe that. And the Vedas, all these scriptures are there so that we can hear about them, and then we can personally enter and connect with these pastimes.
Should we continue?
So maybe we can take a reflection that why is it said? I mean, I always think about this, that how just by hearing one can get relief from all miseries of life. What do you guys think? Just by hearing about these pastimes, Sutta Goswami is saying you can get relief from all miseries of life. So how does that resonate with you?
Is it that like it's the sacred sound vibration sort of like clears our heart?
That's
Maybe
very nice.
something like that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Even though we may not understand it, even though we may not even believe, right? Even though we may just think that these are just stories, yoga stories, told by sages, maybe to teach us something. Even if that's where we are at and that's all we can right now believe, even then it has effect. Just like even if we may not understand fire, we may not even believe in fire, but if we touch fire, we will, it'll work on us.
Yeah, just like somebody has cancer and then they do this radiation therapy, right? You don't see the radiation, and you don't see anything happening in your body either. It's not like you're taking some medicine or drug, but the radiation goes and silently just kills all the cancer cells, right? So similarly, this hearing process is like that. It goes and silently kills all those material congestion that we have in our heart, and all the desires and all those things.
They are really blocking the vision. So nice. Anybody else? And maybe you can reflect on 2. Why is it mysterious?
Yeah, why is it mysterious to you? And what do you find mysterious about it? And how does it
remove all
the miseries of life?
I'd like to go say
Yeah,
something.
go ahead, Amrita.
So yeah, so I find it mysterious because in a way I feel like once you hear it, it somehow you forget about it and then you want to hear about it again. Like you felt something really amazing, but somehow you want to hear it again to to remember it. So it feels like a forgotten memory that you want to go back to and sort of relive it.
Beautiful. Yeah, the forgotten memory part, I can really resonate with that. Especially when we travel even to Vrindavan, different places, you go there and there is a sense of nostalgia. You're like, why? Where is this nostalgia coming from? But there is like something
A
forgotten.
place that happened before.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It happens to me a lot where jokes are concerned. I knew that it was really funny, but I couldn't remember it and I couldn't tell it.
The jokes have that mysterious quality to them, right? That's why it really enlivens us when we hear a good joke. It's almost like an incarnation.
Anybody else?
I also wanted to say that, I mean, the feeling that you have is when you're hearing these pastimes is that you really feel the love for Krishna and you feel his love as well. So I feel like that sort of takes away from, anything that you're feeling, whether you're low or, anything that's affecting you. It feels like it's just, it just fades away in the background.
How wonderful. How wonderful. Actually, that is a very wonderful way to read these texts, is to not just look at the what, but to look at the why. Why is he appearing? Why is he going through all this trouble of coming into the body of a fish and coming as a half man, half lion? It's really an expression of his love. That's all it is. He wants to have all these loving exchanges with us. And
it's like taking these costumes in one sense to attract our hearts.
Yeah.
I really like what you said, that we forget. And that's how all these miseries of life, they may come. It's not that the miseries will stop because we are in this material world, but our heart is not disturbed by them anymore. And our intelligence and our consciousness is not disturbed by the miseries that come. But we are full of strength and full of confidence in Krishna that, yeah, no matter what happens, I have somebody who will take care of me and who's taking care of me. Right? And we are always attracted to him rather than being disturbed by the miseries.
I guess the other thing I always think about is that my own life is so boring. There's really nothing exciting happening, and that's why we turn towards Netflix or we turn towards a movie, because we want some excitement. And then you look at this realm, Krishna's realm, where there is adventure. There's real adventure. It's like, larger than life adventures,
Yeah, there's a pastime. I mean, there's this. Oh, Krishna jumps from.
I was just thinking of that pastime myself. He just jumps off this big cliff.
Yeah, there's a story when Krishna is running from somewhere, and this great demon Jarasandha he corners Krishna. So Krishna climbs on the top of a big hill, like a really big hill, tall hill, and this enemy he puts fire around that hill, or like the whole hill is burning, and it says Krishna just jumps from the top of that hill, like really, really tall hill, and he just lands on the ground and just walks away. It's like a classic Indiana Jones scene, right?
I mean, there's everything. There's kidnapping, there is romance, there is dancing, there's singing, there is, of course, action for the action guys, right? There's something for everything. There's baby pastimes. So he's actually, there's rasa, there's taste there. So even though our own life may be devoid of all rasa, but we can plug into this rasa.
Yeah, 10th canto is full of that rasa.
So, anybody else? We really want to start the next section tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
It's a very exciting section. So the next section, just to give you a little, sneak preview, is that it's going to start like, all right, so this is Krishna. He's the absolute truth. He's is the topmost manifestation. But hey, it doesn't stop there. Now we're going to go back and we're going to progress from like, okay, if you can't relate to Krishna, then here is another way. This is like the starting point. And so we're going to look at all matter, how the absolute truth is manifested as all matter, all spirit, right? Localized, and then Bhagavan. So it's like the whole progression.
So it kind of allows us to start from where we are. I think I really like that in Bhagavatam, there's a stepping stone for everybody. No matter who you are, what are you struggling with, you can start from there. And then you can reconnect with the absolute truth from wherever you are.
So go ahead. Any other reflection?
I have a reflection.
That's right.
My reflection is that any sound vibration that we hear in this world is actually infested with personal motivation, right? Like somebody, if even when I'm talking to somebody, there is a personal motive there. But when I'm uttering the names of Krishna or hearing his pastime, it's free of all the envy or personal motivation. My personal benefit is Krishna is invested in my personal motive, personal progress. So that in itself, it's a subtle energy. We can't see it, but it works because even in, I am a true believer that there are so many energies around us which are working, even though, so sometimes we think, why do we need to do good in this world? I didn't get anything benefit out of it, but there are many powers who are watching us over. So similarly, even though we might not be able to see it, but Krishna's purity is working in our lives, and it helps us transform in the ways which we cannot even see. So
Yeah, very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. By the way, I also wanted to welcome Padma Priya. It's so wonderful to see you, Padma. I was just remembering you the other
Hare,
day. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much
Thank
for
you, Mataji.
joining. Thank you. You have the
Thank you.
Bhagavatam in your house. So,
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for welcoming. I
oh,
missed your sessions, everything. Sorry, somehow I couldn't join for the time and everything. I'll
yeah,
try in the summer holidays as much as possible.
please do. You bring us great joy.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Krishna.
आप मुझसे इतनी दूर हैं, बट 2 दिन मैं आपको बहुत मिस करती हूँ और मेरे कानों में आपका वो जो कीर्तन है वो गूंजता है, मतलब जो आप हरे कृष्णा और वो उसी लय में, मतलब वो गूंजता है और मैं मन खुश हो जाता है, मतलब मैं भी साथ साथ चैन करती हूँ, ऐसा लगता है कान में आप गा रहे हैं मेरे। तो 2 दिन बहुत मिस करती हूँ मैं, वो कीर्तन बहुत मिस करती हूँ और नरसिंह देव की आरती तो बहुत ही मिस करती हूँ कि आपकी वॉइस में मुझे रियली बहुत अच्छी लगती है। और सच में कल मैं आपको याद कर रही थी इसलिए क्योंकि काम भी कर रही थी, कान में वो मतलब वो गूंज रहा था मेरे, और मैं काम भी करती जा रही थी और मतलब आप इतनी दूर होके भी मेरे पास है इतने, दैट्स आई वांट
No,
Tell
thank you
you.
so much. Thank you. Thank you. Really touched my heart. I think this is actually a spiritual connection where the same goes actually. We've never met you, Rachna. We've never met Jeanette, Rebecca. Actually, we haven't met Amrita even, Neelaji. You know, none of you guys. But we feel like we know you so well. Like
For
you
the
just
whole life.
for our whole life. You know what? 5 months.
yeah.
It's amazing. It's truly amazing how.
I think that's the mysterious nature of spiritual sound. That even though we may even have met for even one session, I remember like when we met Amrita last year for the within a couple of sessions.
When did we meet Amrita?
July or June, right? June or July.
Amrita
Online. Yeah.
Online. Yeah, online. That's
Yeah,
what.
online, yeah.
I was like, did I miss something?
No,
You know?
online. And then we felt that, yeah, I mean, we have known her forever, and then the same goes with all of you.
All of you, Vinny, you know, I mean, all of you guys, you know, Reggie, we have never met Reggie. Where is he? I think he's
He
gone.
is there.
Oh, he's there. Yeah. But it feels like, you know, this connection has always been there. So you're absolutely right, Rachna ji, that these connections, and of course, we are going to now start traveling. We'll visit everyone physically as well. There's no substitute to that. So we'll come, we'll cook prashadam together.
I think the closest to us is Amrita and Rebecca, right?
Rebecca and Amrita. Yeah. So we'll start with them. Thank you so much. Yes. Maybe once a week we'll still do kirtan. We really think the japa is good.
No, we should do kirtan in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, kirtan and.
But how can we fit everything together? Japa, kirtan?
We don't have to fit japa every single time. Japa we are doing in the evening anyways. So.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Any final thoughts? Who is there?
I had
Yes, Reggie. Go ahead.
so you said there were 4 attributes that were specific to Krishna, and I got his beauty and the flute playing, but then I think we kind of got off that
Yes.
topic.
Two more. The 2 more is one is the pastimes he does in Vrindavan with his devotees in Vrindavan. Those are unprecedented. Like how he becomes a thief, a butter thief, and he engages all the residents of Vrindavan in this beautiful loving pastimes.
That he doesn't even perform in Dwaraka.
That he doesn't even perform in Dwarka.
Yeah.
So that is a special characteristic of Krishna. And the 4th one is loving pastimes with the cowherd girls of Vrindavan, the gopis, the yoginis. That is unprecedented. Those pastimes are so sweet and so attractive that even Lakshmi Devi, who's the wife of Narayan, she wants to go and participate in those pastimes, but she's not able to get entrance because she has this feeling about her that I am Lakshmi, I am the goddess of fortune, and she has that tight lip about it. So you cannot enter Vrindavan without that extreme humility that I have to be under somebody's care. You have to be a devotee under somebody's care, under the rest. So Lakshmi doesn't want to get into that space, so that's why she has to wait
I mean,
outside.
that whole pastime of the gopis, running off to Krishna. They just hear Krishna's flute in the middle of the night, and they leave. And their husbands try to hold them back, and they have all these responsibilities. They just run. And as they're running, they don't know, there may be snakes, there might be dangerous animals. And they get there, and Krishna then starts instructing them about morality and moral codes. And he says, go back. Why are you here? This is not appropriate for you to come here in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. So it's like that whole pastime, one can really see this. Then the gopis said, we don't want anything but you.
So Krishna is kind of bringing out their ultimate surrender. He's just testing them. Similarly, same things can happen to us. Like when our hearts are pulled towards Krishna, then something else of this world kind of pulls us.
It's already happening, actually. Yeah. Like 10 o'clock. I'm sure there are plenty of things going on at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? You guys have a full day planned. And yet, as soon as you know that there's Bhagavatam class happening, you guys drop everything and run into the Zoom session, right? So this is actually this taste. And this is, as it continues to get condensed, more and more condensed, and it gets to the point of total madness, which the gopis are experiencing, who are the topmost yoginis, actually. They've perfected the art of yoga.
So those are the 4 characteristics about Krishna that no other incarnation displays those.
Hare Krishna, Didi.
Yes.
Yeah, like I was listening and I was really enjoying everything, and it was coming in my mind. I wanted to share that why we hear Srimad Bhagvatam and all Krishna's Leela, that when we hear about something good about anybody, we want to meet that person, right? Even like for example, Barack Obama, if we hear like he's such a good person, good president, one day we want to meet him, we want to see him in person and talk. So like that, when we hear all this Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's beautiful Leela, our heart always seeks to see him, meet him, talk. And when we go towards that, in that nature, it makes us have like a spiritual growth, and one day we will attain what we can. That's what I feel.
Very nice. Absolutely. Right on.
Yeah, we start developing spiritual desires.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of hearing this vibration, to develop the spiritual desires. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So tomorrow is going to be, this week is going to basically be, I think we're going to complete 3rd chapter.
There are only 10 more verses.
Yeah, so we'll complete that. But it's a whole progression. I'm really excited about that progression. So we'll talk about how we start from seeing spirit and matter to all the way, to Bhagavan.
And then the upcoming chapters 4 and 5, I mean, each chapter is more juicier than the other. It's just like so much. We'll see different aspects of we'll meet great personalities. From now on, we'll start meeting great personalities. So this was the foundation till chapter 3. In chapter 4 and 5, we'll meet Narada and Vyasa. So be prepared to meet these 2 great personalities. And then 6, 7, 8, we'll meet the Pandavas, Kunti, we'll meet Bhishma, all these great personalities, and what personalities they are. I mean, just to think about each of these personalities, you feel so much strength.
Actually, just describe that when you just meditate on these great personalities, their spiritual credit becomes yours.
And then their qualities you imbibe just by thinking of them. So what a great way to just get all the qualities that you have been looking for.
Prabhupada actually says you'll actually get to meet, Krishna in these pages, and Narada, of course, makes his appearance.
Yeah.
He has just made his appearance in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. We may not be able to travel to India necessarily, and we may not even have to travel to India necessarily, but the Srimad Bhagavatam is like the Ganga that is flowing through the entire universe, and it's bringing in, all the benefits one can get of visiting all these places. And actually, there's a kund in Govardhan called the Narada Kund. So you get to sit there. That's where Narada Muni actually sat and wrote the Narada Bhakti Sutras, right? So, it's exciting to see them again.
Can I share just one thing before I leave? I know we are past like 8 for the time.
No, that's
but
okay.
That's okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so I remember when we were starting reading the Bhagavatam, I was scared and I had like that fear feeling. But now I just cannot stop, I don't know, stop reading. So I'm starting from the introduction now. I'm reading all over again. And I also started to read Mahabharata.
Wow.
And also, watching the Bhagavad Gita classes. And I remember one night I was, because I'm behind on the Bhagavad Gita classes, so I was watching a video, and then later I read a little bit of the Bhagavatam, and I just had like this excitement feeling of like, oh my God, I love this. And, and we were talking about the mysterious name of God. And, like when you're feeling a little bit like Sherlock Holmes, trying to understand God a little bit, but our mind is limited, but it's just that excitement of being a mystery, of being like in this, I don't know.
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
love that, Vinny.
It's just amazing. And yeah, it's like it feels so good to be here with all of you guys. Yeah.
I'd like to borrow some of your enthusiasm, your excitement.
I tell you, and I was just thinking, actually, when you were speaking, I was thinking it's almost like we don't have to even understand, right? Just like Rebecca was saying, right? All we do is just, put a blanket around us and sit by in a circle and just listen to these stories.
Yeah, it's just like eating an excellent cake, like a 7-layer cake somebody prepared for you.
Who at that point cares what,
how is it made, and the analysis of all the components of the cake? You just go for it, right?
Yeah, because it's amazing.
Amazing. All right. So with that very happy note, we'll take your leave and we'll meet again tomorrow.
So Vinny, we are hiring you for our ad for our next class.
Yeah, that was okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna.